Boy, this is I don't know about you, Brian. This is a sad day for me.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Why is that?
Well, we're reviewing the new album of The Word Alive, and I haven't talked to you about how you feel about it, but I've been keeping my feelings about it very quiet.
Yeah.
Because this is the first time in starting this movie, music, and video game review adventure that I'm greatly disappointed with what I have been reviewing. It's one of those times like where you look forward to something for such a long time and it finally comes and it's just like, oh.
Well, I probably have a different view then of you. I don't know. I didn't.
We'll see. I'm actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do this. I'm gonna let you state what you liked about the album first of all,
right?
Because I'm gonna see how I relate to those opinions, and then we'll get into my spiel about this.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even really know that they were coming out with a new album until it was really out. But they've always been a pretty solid band in my opinion, all the way back to like the Empire EP when she told me about. Started to like them.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Word Alive.
So I gave it a listen. I listened to like the few singles they released and they're like all right. I didn't give it much chance, but then I listened to the whole album. I don't know. I liked it. It just seemed like usual Word Alive. The synth parts were pretty good as usual. The clean vocals, got a little better, I guess. They fit a little more into the songs. And
I agree with that.
I like the cleans and like Life Cycles in entirety, which were the singles they released. Those were really good. I liked them. The screams stayed the same. It wasn't really any different there. And the lyrics are pretty good, I'd say. Like some of them are like they're trying to be a little more like meaningful and lyrically mature, I guess, and sing about things that they care about and believe in. So I caught that, I guess. Song variety, I think that it was pretty good, like between like heavy and like soft parts and like clean vocals and screams and stuff, and not much like change. Pretty like solid Word Alive and what you'd expect, but those are all the positives I saw on the album. Not much to complain about. What do you think
all
about
right.
that?
So this is where you and I are going to differentiate because, and I think it just comes down to the whole sensibility of how we view this band. When I heard Deceiver, when it came out 2 years ago, that was one of the heaviest albums we had in the scene in a long time. I mean, that album was just punishing.
Yeah.
And I really loved that about them. I loved that they were a band that came in and said, we're angry, we're going to fuck shit up, and we're going to mix every type of metal that we can into this, whether it's metalcore or thrash metal or just guitar solos. They mixed everything into like a little pot, and I think it worked so unbelievably good.
No, it was perfect, yeah.
Yeah, and Deceiver actually ended up being one of my favorite albums of that year. The problem that I have with this album is that I feel like they just got soft. And, you know, you brought it up how they're more mature in their lyrics and how their clean singing got better. It's those factors that kind of bothered me. Because I was excited for that Word Alive that I got on Deceiver. Like, I wanted to see a more punishing, like, type of metal band, maybe in the vein of, like, Under Oath or something like that. That's what I thought that I was going to get. But I think what my issue most of forth with this album is that, you know, since they did tone themselves down, they kind of just sound like another band in the scene.
Yeah, you can make that argument. I'd probably have to agree. It does sound a little more like generic, not a.
And that's my big problem with it, is that you have a band who did so much on the last album to not sound generic, and then this album, I just feel like they just kind of said, fuck it.
Yeah, I didn't really like pay attention to that stuff. That's your view, but
Yeah, I mean, if you disagree with my view, I completely understand.
no, I can agree that they got a little softer, but it didn't bug me as much as you
Yeah,
did, because you were expecting them to be a little heavier.
I did. I expected this. When I first heard Deceiver, I was just like, you know what? When Under Oath goes, at least we got these guys.
Yeah.
And now after this album, I'm kind of like, oh shit. I don't know anymore. It's one of those albums. I do have to give it credit though. I mean, the instrumentals, the musicianship, it's all great. I mean, you have, Tyler. His voice is as good as ever, screaming and clean. I think the guitar work is good. I think all the instrumentals are good, but
the synth parts are always phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't think they're as great as Deceiver was though, and there's I think there's reasoning behind that. I didn't know if you know this for this album, but their drummer and one of their guitarists left right before they started recording this.
Yeah, I heard that.
So I think that does hurt the album a little bit, because you're not getting those drum solos that you had in Deceiver. You're not getting those back-to-back guitar solos that you had in Deceiver. And I think those things, some would call it minor, but those are two things I really liked in Deceiver, and that's something I just didn't get with this album. And it was something that really bothered me. And just the whole fact of it, ultimately it comes down to the fact that, maybe it was my expectations, but it just wasn't heavy enough for me.
Yeah. One of the criticisms I had was it seemed a little longer. It's like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like 50 minutes or so. It was only 13 songs, but it was longer. And if you didn't like it that much, then it could have definitely added a lot more aspect of
it pained me to try to get through this album, because it starts out strong. I will admit, Wishmaker, when I heard Wishmaker, I was like, all right, here's a Word Alive that I love. It's heavy, it's good, it's mixing everything in that bag. Mm-hmm. And Entirety was the same way. It was like, all right, it's the same thing. It's everything that I love about this band, all mixed in a little bag. And it, the 4th, 5th, and 6th song going up the late cycles, it's like, okay, it's kind of going downhill, but hey, maybe the second half of the album will pick up, and then it just goes on a straight dive.
Yeah, after life cycles, it isn't that great anymore. So.
Yeah, it went on a straight nosedive for me, and after every song, it was just like, oh god. So, but it's nice to hear that. I am happy to hear that you have a different opinion on me about this, because this is one of those bands, when I heard this album, I gotta be honest with you, when I heard this album, I was like, oh my god, it's the End of the World party all over again.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I know I See Stars rebounded after that, but Word Alive, oh, you gotta kick up your game next one.
Yeah.
And for you to say that you liked it more than I did gives me a reassuring fact that maybe I'm the only one who thought that. Because I just remember how that was, and the World Party came out, and everyone was just like, "What the hell is this? We hate this!" And then I'm the one guy that's like, "I kind of liked it."
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to it. It's not as bad, but I'm glad they rebounded. Yeah, Word Alive, if they could kick it up and get back to the heaviness that they were at, it'd be a little better, and their next album could be great. But
which, with the inclusion, they did find a new drummer, they did find a new guitarist. I think that's going to happen. I pray that it's going to happen, and I have faith that they are going to do it. But as for right now, I mean, this gets a stream only for that beginning, only for the first quarter of the album, which is great. But the rest just Oh God, it's awful.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3. Download it. So it's worth that. They're still a great band, and it's not that bad in my opinion. So I'd give it a download.
Yeah, and I would say, if you're a fan, give it a shot. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. And even if you don't, don't take your eyes off these guys. I think, unless if they come back with an album worse than this, I'm still a fan. I'm still a big fan of them, and I just hope that this was just a phase for them. That's all I hope.
Yep, I mean, I liked it, so I'm definitely a fan. So check it out, and we'll see where they go from here.
All right. Hopefully, I do not have a nosedive like this. This for music in a while. What comes out in the next couple of weeks for music?
Not too much. Let me check the old phone.
All right. Well, I was trying to set you up for a joke there, but you failed. You blew it. So we're just gonna end.
Oh, yellow card. Yeah, yellow card.
Okay. Well, that's not gonna disappoint me. So we're gonna end on that note.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening again, and check back soon for more.